What if David lost the battle? In the valley of Elah, the giant Goliath stood as he always had, unyielding, terrifying, and undefeated. His voice echoed across the hills, shaking the courage of every soldier in Israel. But this time, something was different. A young shepherd named David stepped forward, not with armor, not with a sword, but with faith. The same faith that had once protected his sheep from lions and bears. The same faith that whispered, "You are not alone." But what if that whisper faded? David picked up 5 smooth stones, just like the story you know. He faced Goliath, heart pounding, not with fear but with belief, until doubt crept in. What if I fail? What if God doesn't come through this time? For the first time, his hand trembled. He released the stone. It flew, but not true. It struck Goliath's shoulder, not his forehead. The giant paused, then laughed. A deep, thunderous laugh that echoed like a storm breaking. In one swift motion, Goliath charged. The armies of Israel watched in horror as David was struck down, not killed, but defeated, broken, dragged from the battlefield. That day, fear won. Israel lost more than a battle. They lost belief. King Saul fell deeper into despair, convinced that God had abandoned them. Soldiers who once whispered prayers now whispered doubts. The name of Goliath became legend, not as a fallen enemy, but as an unstoppable force. And David? He returned to the fields, ashamed, confused, questioning everything he once knew. But here's where the story changes again, because failure is not the end of God's plan. Years passed. David grew not just in strength, but in understanding. He realized something powerful. It was never about the stone. It was about the heart behind it. And even when his faith failed, God didn't. One night, under a sky full of stars, David picked up his harp and sang, not songs of victory, but songs of brokenness. Songs that would one day become psalms. Songs that said, "Even when I fall, you are still with me." What if David lost? Maybe the victory wouldn't be instant. Maybe it wouldn't look like a giant falling. Maybe it would look like a man rising again, stronger, humbler, unshakable. Because sometimes the greatest victories don't happen in a moment of triumph. They happen after defeat. And maybe that version of David would inspire us even more. Subscribe for more.